Torah of Gimel. We're going to go into the Torah a little bit. First, we're going to go through the Torah without being medayik, and then we're going to try to break down the Torah. Zog the Heilige Rebbe, be'inyan ha-simcha. In the Iyun, on the topic of simcha al pi mashal. According to a mashal, shalaf amim kishebnei adam smeichem ameragdim. Sometimes, when people are happy and dancing, azai chaytfin ish echad mibachutz, shehu ba'atzos samarash chayra. So they grab a guy that's on the outside, that's sad or depressed or both, umachnisim oisai bal korcha letoich mechayil hameragdim, and they bring this guy in to the circle of the dancers, umachrichem oisai bal korcha sheyesameach imoyim gamkein, and they force him against his will to be sameach with them also. So let's understand this mashal. And we've all been on both sides of the mashal. We've been on the side of the internal side of the smeichem and meragdim. You know, we go to a simcha, we go to a chasana, and we're close to the Baal Simcha, we are the Baal Simcha, and we're smeichem and meragdim. And then there's the people that are standing outside and watching, each person for a different reason, why he's not in the circle, but he's standing to the side. And as we're going fervently and dancing, we see the guy, we go and we grab the guy. We bring that guy, we grab him by surprise, and then we push him, come into the circle, but he's still not besimcha. He's just like pleasing us, and he goes around the circle. But then there are times when the energy that we have of smeichem is able to capture them to be sameach imayim gamken. That's but pashtus without being medayik. That is the mashal. Says the Rebbe, Kein yesh be'inyan ha-simcha. So too is it in the inyan of simcha, whatever that means. We don't know what it means, but it seems to be a much bigger inyan than the mashal or the nimshal. But in the nimshal, there is the inyan of simcha. Ki k'sha'adam sameach hazam marash chayv ha'yisurim nistal k'menatzan. So it seems like the Rebbe is giving a platform for the nimshal. However, if we'll be medayik later, we'll see that maybe this is the nimshal itself, or part of the nimshal. But right now it seems like a platform, that when a person is happy, then the depression and the pain move to the side. So he seems to be telling us like a fact. When you're feeling that feeling of happiness, whatever pain or depression or sadness that you're going through, it moves to the side. Right now, it's not in the center of the picture, it's on the side of the picture. It's there, but it's on the side of the picture. But it's a bigger advantage, to gather strength, to run after the depression, dafka, specifically. To also bring the Marash Chayra into the Simcha, be'oifen, in a way, Marash Chayra be'atzma tesapech l'simcha, that the Marash Chayra by itself will transform and convert itself into Simcha. Sheyahapech ha'Marash Chayra v'chol ha'yisurim l'simcha, that you will transform and turn over the Marash Chayra and the Yisurim into Simcha. How? Kederech, like the way, habala toich simcha, like the person who's coming into the simcha, and he's running into the simcha, he's going into ha-simcha. Sha'az, at that time, migoydel ha-simcha v'achedva, from the great simcha and chedva, there's another lashon of simcha, mahapech, it turns over, kol ha'dages va'atzvas ha'marash chayre shaloi, the simcha. It turns over all of his worries, his sadness, his marash chayra into simcha. And we see that all the time about simcha. No matter what's going on before the wedding, once it comes to the actual part of the wedding, all the worries, is the band going to be there? Is the singer going to be there? Is the flowers good? Is the food good? Is all the worries that he had before, even about the simcha or other worries, and all the depression and sadness that he had, will all be nisapach to simcha, because when he goes into the simcha, when he's coming into the simcha, he's taking his whole worry, he's taking everything he has and bringing it into the simcha. Says the Rebbe, Nimsa comes out, shechaytev hamarash chayra umachnes oisa bal korcha l'toich ha-simcha kamashana, So it comes out, if you go through this process, even though in the mashal we are talking about a minimum of 3 people, right? There's 2 people in the circle and there's 1 person on the outside. And the 2 people that are in the circle bring the 1 person, they grab him, they bring him in against his will, and they get him to be sameach imah. The Rebbe is saying we can do this internally with ourselves, even though we have 2 emotions. One emotion of sameach, whenever we get that emotion of sameach, even though we had worry, sadness, depression, pain, that was there before, but now that we have this Iyun of Sameach, we have the ability to grab this advantage, because now the Marash Chayr is standing on the outside, and we can grab this, take this opportunity, and now confront our Marash Chayr and actually grab it inside. How do we grab it inside? By pursuing it and running after it, gathering strength to run after it, and bring it in a way that the Marash Chayr will convert itself into Simcha, and not us converting itself into Marash Chayr, but Marash Chayr to convert itself into Simcha. And that is the Iyun in the nimshal of being chaytiv, grabbing, and machnes oisa bal karcha, against its will, into Simcha, just like the mashal. This all needs a beer. It's not, but first we want to hear the words of the Rebbe, and then Yetz Hashem will go through step by step of questions, many, many questions, and we'll be mevayir. Says the Rebbe Vaita, v'zeh b'chinas sosoin v'simcha yasigu. And this is the Iyun of sosoin v'simcha. The pasuk tells us in Yeshaya that sosoin v'simcha yasigu v'nosu yogim v'anocha. When sosoin and simcha you'll attain sosoin and simcha, then the Yogim V'Anocha will run away. The Pashup Pshat is that when a person is B'Simcha, the Yogim V'Anocha goes away. Just like we see that a person is B'Simcha, then Yogim V'Anocha goes away. And this would be more like before the Maila Yisera that he said. This would be like the platform that he said. That whenever there is Kisha Adam Sameach, Azayam Arashchoy V'Yisurim Nestalkim and Atzad. Seems like the Pashup Pshat of the Pasuk would be Sasam V'Simcha Yasigu. When you get this Sasam V'Simcha in you, then the Yogim V'Anocha moves away to the side, it runs away. So now Rabbeinu Zal is going to give us a bigger picture into the Sasam V'Simcha. He's going to include the Maila Yisera into this Pasuk. And he's going to touch the following. Shai Yogim V'Anocha Barachim v'nasim min hasimcha. Yogim v'anocha runs away from simcha. Ki be'eis hasimcha, in the time, in the moments of simcha, derech ha-yogim v'anocha lamid ben hatzad. The derech of yogim v'anocha is to stand aside. Avol tzarech lirdoif achareim, but a person has to run after them. Daika, actually run after, mamish run after, ula sigam, ula agiyam, and to reach them and attain them, lahachnis oisam dafka l'toich simcha, and specifically bring that Marash Chayra and Yisurim or Yogim V'Anocha into the simcha kaniska la'el, like we mentioned earlier. V'zeu, and now that's the pshat in the pasuk. A new pshat in the pasuk. Sasoim v'simcha yasigu. Sha'sasoim v'simcha yasigu v'yitvesu es ha'yogim v'anocha she'im nosim u'barachim and ha'simcha. That the sasoim v'simcha will reach the Yogim V'Anocha that's running away, because it's running away from the Sasim V'Simcha, because it's running away from the Simcha, and bring it into the Simcha against its will in L'Toich HaSimcha Kaniska Le'el. Now the Rebbe ends off with the last piece here. Ki yesh Yogim V'Anocha Shehei Ma'aseh Acha. There is Yogim V'Anocha that is from the other side, from the Sitra Acha. They don't want to be connected to Kedusha. They don't want to be a vehicle to Kedusha. And therefore, they're running away from Simcha. And therefore, you need to force them into the Kedusha, the Hainu HaSimcha, which Kedusha is Simcha, Ba'al Karcham, against its will, Kaniska La'el, like we mentioned earlier. So in review, Rav Nachman is telling us that this Iyun HaSimcha is dafka to find your worries. And the truth is, all our life's challenges, these are our 2 main challenges. Are we happy or are we sad? Are we happy and we're besimcha, and are we sad and we're Marash Chayra? And we see that when this Inyan HaSimcha is, whatever it is something that's very powerful and has an infectious way of bringing in the person into Sameach, into the Simcha, Smechem, Meragdim, into the Simcha, and it draws, it has a magnetic pull that pulls you into the Simcha. But most of the time, that when we get into this emotion of Sameach, we don't deal with our Marashchar, we don't deal with our sadness, we don't deal with our daigas, we don't deal with our Yisur. And the Rebbe is telling us there's a Maile Yisera that not only when you're Sameach, that your worries and your sadness move to the side, but there's a Maile Yisera to go after it, confront it, and bring it into the Simcha, because you will overturn it and you will transform it into Simcha. Not only will you get rid of it, but you will transform it into Simcha. And we need to understand much more here in this Eitzah, because there seems to be a murdig Eitzah that the Rebbe is giving us a gewaldig Eitzah of how not only to get rid of Yogan V'Anocha, but to transform it. And l'chayr, if you transform it into Simcha, the Simcha only becomes bigger. So we need to really understand, and Yetz Hashem, in the coming Shiur, we will try to explain by being medayik in each word, and see if there's a hidden message here that we can all relate to on actually how to do this Eitzah. How do we take when we're Sameach, how do we confront our sadness, our worries, our depressions, our gloominess, our heaviness, and our pain? How do we do that and convert that into Simcha?